My name is Trip-Arianne Rivard, and I graduated from Reed College in 2010 with a degree in history and Chinese. I've been working in China for 3 years since then, partially in Yunnan through Teach for China, working at a rural middle school, then as a college counselor in a private school in Guangzhou, and next year I will be working as an American history and academic English writing teacher at Xinjiang Agricultural University in Urumqi.
Okay, what's the most helpful thing you've done for that?
Right. This program is fairly short. It's only 2 weeks long, and thus we have time to, an ability to inspire the students here and help them create a new outlook on life. But we're not able to make sure that they keep developing in that direction and that the students keep, oh my God, I'm trying to say. So because this is a very short program, we are able to inspire the children and help them look at their lessons from different angles without the pressure of tests. But at the same time, because this is a short program, we aren't here next month or next semester to ensure that the students keep developing in that same direction and that the students have the same accessibility to knowledge and the same encouragement to develop their creativity. So I think that the most important thing for short-term programs like this is that we consistently support the school and that we find ways to check up on the development of students throughout the school year and not just for 2 weeks every summer. I think what I got most out of this program was it's more being with the students outside of class. And I noticed, like, I had a camera, none of them had ever seen it before, and suddenly these third graders really wanted me to take photos of them, and they didn't even know that you could print photos, but they really wanted me to take photos. And then I allowed them to take photos with my camera, and they didn't know how to do that either, but I taught them how to press the button, and they all took turns pressing the button and taking photos of each other. And they were absolutely curious about this thing, and they didn't really have any needs or desires apart from curiosity. They just wanted to know how it worked, and they'd never seen anything like this before. So in areas like this, but people are materially very poor, and they don't have a lot of resources. So I think one thing that we can bring to them is not just more resources, but a way to use resources and develop their creativity and kind of start being more inquisitive about the world around them. I think there is obviously a huge gap between urban and rural education in China, and that gap is different in different parts of China. I think what I've noticed in Inner Mongolia is that the teachers are much more willing to start changing the way that they're teaching classes and to allow students to be more creative or to develop in new manners, but they don't have the resources or the training skills. So I think here that's the biggest problem, is that even if teachers and principals are willing, and if students are smart or intelligent or inquisitive, they just don't have the resources to develop. And I mean, most of the schools that we have gone to, they have a few computers, but not many, which is a problem in the digital age if you want to teach students to do anything that is applicable for their lives. And then another thing is that testing kind of rules the system. So all of the teachers, even if they want to teach applicable knowledge, have to teach for the test. So they spend a lot of time just lecturing to the students, and the students memorize everything. And the students don't really know how this knowledge is applicable to their life, and they don't know what to do with it, and they're not very curious about it. It's just something that they have to do. It's like a chore. And so a lot of these students lose interest in school, and they also don't know how to use the knowledge that they have. So I think this is probably one of the biggest problems with rural education in China, is that you have students who don't like studying, and they don't know what to do with the knowledge that they have, and they graduate without very many skills, even though they spent a lot more time than American students in class. My knowledge of education and NGOs in China is a little bit deeper, perhaps, than some people, because I did work for a year in China in rural Yunnan. But I think before I came, everyone in Teach for China was very idealistic, and we thought that we could change education in rural China within a few months, not to say a year. And by a few months into that year, we realized that all of these problems that we were looking at were very deep and complex social problems. So you can't change something in a year. You obviously can't change it in 2 months. You can start inspiring people to think about change in 2 weeks, but it does take a much longer time, and it takes a much larger investment than just a few high school and college and recent graduates going out to Inner Mongolia for 2 weeks. So I think what this organization needs is long-term investment and long-term support of these schools. Right now, I don't think I'll be working in an NGO very soon. I am going from working in a private school in Guangzhou to working at a state-run school in Xinjiang, where I'll be paid 1/4 of my former wages. So that's somewhat like doing charity work, although I still get a salary. I think what I get most out of when I'm doing NGO work or working for a charity is that I'm able to give people something that they can't have otherwise, or able to bring new ideas to them or help them look at the world in a new way. And that's partially why I'm going to Xinjiang, is because I want to work in a college classroom setting where I can help students who have been memorizing things their entire life to start looking at American history from a different angle and to start questioning things and putting together pieces of knowledge that they have memorized but never used to analyze larger questions.
Do you have any suggestion for the United States people?
For the United States, I think the United States needs to be broader in its assessment of education. The U.S. has a lot of problems in its own educational system, and I think, but we also have a lot of knowledge about education in the U.S. So I think the most important thing for the U.S. right now is to start applying all of the knowledge it has to its own educational system and then communicating more with other countries to help them improve their educational systems and then gather more useful knowledge about education or methods of education from those countries too.
对于那些对这个活动感兴趣的人有什么建议？
For people who are interested in this NGO, I hope that you would continue supporting them. Not just participate in the future, but help them to support schools all year round.